So welcome back to the channel, guys. Listen, please like, follow, share, tell a friend, tell your enemy um, to tune into the show. And I believe you're really going to be enlightened and made aware of a lot. So I'm currently, I'm navigating through a transition even myself, right? So being, I'm a 52-year-old black male uh, in this world. I found myself in a place of having to navigate and make a transition, right? And it come navigating and transitioning at this age has its challenges. It has its outside challenges, and it also has its internal challenges, right? Now, I can't, and none of us can change what's going on the outside, because there's other elements that can affect us that we're not in charge of, right? For example, especially when it comes to people, right? You can't control people. You can't manipulate people. You can't change the way people think, where they operate. But what you can control is you, right? Controlling you, controlling yourself, knowing certain things about you helps you navigate through any type of transition that you're contending with, right? And so one of the things that I found out, I'm part of a group that is, we're all kind of, I like to say that we're all like a bunch of navigators, right? We're all navigating through life, transitioning from one place to another. Some people, maybe they're just come out of divorce. Maybe it's some people, they lost employment. Maybe it's just going through transitioning through life period. Maybe they lost a loved one, and maybe that's affecting them in different ways, and they're having a challenge transitioning from one stage in life to the next stage in life. But one of the things that I found out that is always relevant, and it's always something that a lot of times we don't think about, right? And I don't care what it is you contend with when it comes to transitioning or moving forward or transitioning from one place to the next, the biggest challenge is you. You're the biggest challenge. It's not the outside world accepting you or embracing you. The real challenge is yourself. Because in most cases, we have evolved to a certain place where we're comfortable moving in the skin that we're in, right? And when I say comfortable moving in the skin that you're in, I'm not saying the skin as far as your pigmentation. I use the word skin just meaning that being you, right? However you are right now, you could be comfortable in that, and being who you are right now may have worked for a season, but what do you do when the you that you've embraced or that you personified is no longer working, right? What do you do when that happens? When the old you doesn't work in this new place, it just doesn't work in the new place. It's just not. It's affecting everything. It may affect your relationships, may affect your money. It starts affecting other things, because the old you may have gotten you through a certain points in your life or a certain season in your life, and it may have been okay to be that person, and that person is great and it was wonderful. However, because now things have evolved on the outside of you, it's necessary that you evolve now into another person. Not that you reject who you were, all the things about you, but it's about dealing with the things that needed to change in you in order for the real you to really begin to blossom again, to blossom out to the next level. So you were operating in the old you that who had blossomed at one point, right? And you got caught up in the blossoming. You got caught up in who you were then, and you perfected that, right? Even though you blossomed in that place, you perfected that. But now, because conditions have changed, it's now forcing you to go look deeper inside and really deal with who you are as a man, as a woman, as an individual, who you are. You got to really stop and say, okay, who am I for real? Who am I? There's more to me than what I was in the past. Now I have to learn how to dig deep and find the real me, right? And so I find that wherever you are, wherever you're navigating, wherever you're having to find yourself transition from one place to another, you have got to find out the hidden things about yourself. There's some hidden things about you that you need to know about. There's some things in you that you know about that maybe you didn't want to accept. You may have suppressed them for a season, and that suppression worked for you, and you got through it. But now in this new season of your life, that suppression no longer works. That suppression no longer brings you into the next level. That suppression no longer breaks through doors and causes you to leap over mountains like you used to, because the mountains then were a lot smaller, but now your mountains that you're contending with now, they're a lot bigger. So you're going to have to really tap into the real you. You're going to have to really find out who you really are, right? And so one of the things that I realized, and this kind of came to me earlier when I was in the meeting, right, is that the perception of perfection has evolved as it relates to you in society, right? So the perception of perfection concerning yourself has evolved, right? And concerning people, now the world has when it comes to perfection, right? Perfection can only in an individual can only be found within themselves, right? And when I say perfection, I don't mean you do everything right, because we're steady evolving, we're steady becoming. We should be steady evolving. The moment that you're no longer evolving, you're no longer alive. You're no longer living in the earth the moment you stop evolving. So everybody is always evolving, even if you're evolving in slow increments that may be affecting you. And you may have to deal with some things so that you can get over some humps and some bumps and some lumps and some conditions. You may have to deal with those things so that you can begin to get back in motion to evolving again into the you, right? Because becoming you is a lifelong journey. It never stops. People think that you become, when you achieve a certain thing and you hit a certain thing, you're at that place. No, you're not. If you're still living and breathing and the blood is still pumping in your veins, then there's still more of you that needs to come out. There's still more of you that needs to affect more people, that needs to have influence on more people. That energy still needs to evolve to another level, right? When I use the word energy, I'm talking about not just action, but I'm even talking about influence, right? Because whenever you step into a room, you bring a certain energy. You bring a certain influence with you. Even if you're doing nothing, you're bringing a certain energy, right? You're bringing a certain influence, whether don't mess with me or get with me, or I'm in the room because I'm evolving like the rest of us. That's the energy that I'm bringing. And so I'll come as a contributor instead of a subtractor, right? And it's good to subtract, but it's also good to make a deposit. So when if somebody steps into a room with good energy, right? When people pick up that there's good energy about you, it means that you're open, that you're you're into evolving and going to the next place, that you definitely have something to offer. You carry a certain measure of influence. It's good energy is coming to the room, right? So we've all been in places where people come into the room and the energy is strong from that person is really good. You really feel that after having a conversation with them. Sometimes the energy can be so good, heavy on a person that they don't even have to say anything. It's just on them like that, right? You see it. People recognize it. They know it. They know that energy is there. They see it. It's just that you can't get around it, right? Maybe because naturally they do things when they're not, what they're doing in private gets personified in public, right? So what you do in private gets personified in public, meaning I'm talking about that main thing that you're doing like on a regular in private who you really are. That integral side of you begins to manifest when you get in public. People can pick it up. They can feel it. It's like an energy. It's like a cloak. It's constantly coming from you. People can just know it. Anybody that's in tune, right, can pick it up, right? So moving in that vein and understanding that you have to be in a place where you're steady evolving. And so one of the things that when I was talking to my group earlier today, and as I mentioned, I talked about the perception of perfection has evolved as it relates in society. People know when somebody says that perfection, it's not necessarily looking for you to be, do, and have it all. It means that what it means is that you're dealing with yourself. You're a person that deals with you, and you're true to yourself. And when you present yourself, this is really who you are. Nobody has to try to read through the lines. Nobody has to try to say, okay, wait a minute, something else. I just don't know. I'm not feeling this guy. Something's not right. No, you just coming in the room. You're just being yourself. You're being yourself. You're very transparent about yourself. You're very transparent about your goals, what your agenda is, where you're going, what you want to get out of life, what you desire. You have all those things like that are steady, like evolving, right, in you. So that's really what perfection is, and that's what people want, right? So, for example, we were talking about when you're changing careers, moving in between careers. Now, there was a time when everything was looked at as like everything has to be professional. Everything has to be lines. Your resume has to be like this. And when you come in, you have to speak with the correct diction. Everything has to be straight. No fidgeting. Keep yourself straight. Make sure you're this. Make sure you're that. Make sure your answers are concise and really rehearsed and to the point when you're in that interview and things like that. But nowadays, things have shifted. And the reason is because actually, to be honest with you, the internet has forced people to evolve, has forced people to be real, has forced people to be more transparent about themselves. The internet has caused that to happen, right? The internet, all forms of media, because of what people buy into you. They don't buy into products. That's just the truth. People buy into you. They buy you. They don't buy products. People don't buy stuff and things. They buy the person that's representing it. That's really what they do. That's why media companies are very strategic on who they have representing their products, because people buy people. People do not buy products, right? So because of that, the world is starting to evolve into a place where they just want people. The perfect person is the person that's being themselves. That's just being you. That's just being yourself. It's not about having all the qualifications, being able to cross every T and dot every I. It's not about that with these employees nowadays. Now employees just want an authentic person. Just be you. I want to know who you are, because who you are is going to make a difference with this group. You being yourself. You could be the missing. What they're doing is they're looking for the missing piece, right? They know who they have. They know who they're working with. Now we need somebody that's like this. We need somebody that's more of a motivator. So we need somebody who can like really motivate people, even though they may not have all the skill set that we want, but can they motivate people? Because if I can get them in the team, then and they start just being themselves, which is like a natural motivator, people start getting motivated, and then everything starts to being more productive, right? So it's not about being able to be, do, and have all the qualifications that people are looking for. And this is what people are looking for in life in general. Even when people are connecting for, like, you're looking for your soulmate. Some of you looking for your soulmate, right? You want your soulmate to be very authentic. You want them to be real. You want them to be raw. You want to know everything about them, because you need to know if they're going to connect with your realness, and that they're gonna pick up where you leave off, if they're going to help balance you off and where you may be overweighted or you're lacking, right? So that individual needs to be authentic. Just be yourself. Don't worry about whether or not you fit or not. Just be you. So the journey is not so much in achieving what you're looking for. The journey is really you finding out who you really are. Who you really are is really the journey. That's the journey. The journey is not coming into trying to find a new job. The journey is not trying to find a new relationship. The journey is just finding out who you are so you can be that authentic person and then begin to attract the perfect place, the perfect situation, the perfect circumstance, the perfect person, right? Now understand I'm using the word perfect, meaning that other person that is themselves and that I bring balance to, or that other company that I can go to and I can help balance the company out just by being myself. It's no longer people aren't looking to pay you to come and do work. They're looking to pay you to help them progress, to help fill in what the places where they're missing, to help balance them out, because they already know what it takes to get there, but they just need the pieces, right? People are our greatest resources, right, in life. That's the greatest resource, people. In order to accomplish many things in life, you're going to need people, right? Even if you're on a solo trip, right, you're still going to need people, because you're going to need somebody to tap you on the shoulder and let you know when you're out of line, when you're over to the left, when you should be over to the right. So you don't have eyes 360, right? Your eyes are fixed in one location. You're fixed on the direction that you're moving in. You can't always see everything around you. So sometimes you can miss opportunities, right? Sometimes you can miss opportunities because you refuse to move in partnership. And partnerships can come at different levels. You got paid partnerships. You can have partnerships that are more like a bartering situation, where I'm giving you some of what I got, you give me some of what you have, and then by doing so, I'm helping you move forward, and you helping me move forward. Partnerships come in different ways. But I want you to understand that as I mentioned earlier, that the perception of perfection has really evolved. And being that perfect person is really being yourself. The struggle you're having achieving your goal is not that nobody wants you. It's not that you can't find the right place. The real challenge is you, because when you find out who you really are, know your why you're here, why your purpose, understand where your agenda fits in with the earthly plan, things begin to open up. So when there's a delay, it doesn't mean that there's a denial. It just means that you're coming into who you are. You're steady perfecting yourself. Perfecting meaning your things are being revealed to you about who you are in this season. Things are being revealed to you where you fall short and where you need to come up in this season, or maybe a little bit too top heavy, maybe a little bit too ahead of yourself, and you need to come back and balance some things out within you so that you can help someone else, so you can be someone else's missing piece that they need. It's all about finding out where it is that you belong. Because when you find where it is that you belong, that's when prosperity begins to happen. That's when there's a grand awakening. That's when you begin to feel good. That's when you feel to begin strong, right? Because you're making this positive impact in the lives of other people. You're making a positive impact in the industry that you may be looking to go into. But understand this: people are looking for perfecting people, not perfect people, but perfecting people that are steady revolving. So you don't have to lie about yourself. You don't have to lie about any type of accomplishment. You don't have to lie and try to say you're this thing when you're really not. You don't have to do that anymore. Because people are understanding now in this season. Listen, everybody doesn't have this revelation, but I'm telling you, it is evolved. I'm seeing it sweep. I'm in contact with a lot of people. I'm a lot of people in the marketplace I'm in contact with. People, key decision makers. I've talked to people. I still take classes. I sit in rooms where people are talking about subjects like this. I'm seeing, and in the room is people who are CEOs, and I'm talking about not like just Joe Blow off the street, although Joe Blow off the street is also in the room too, and they're somebody, and they're carrying something, and they have value within themselves that they bring to the table, right? So when you start looking at everybody as being valuable, Look at everybody around you that is an individual that has value. They have value. I don't care who they are. I don't even care how they're acting or what they're doing at that moment. Even if I don't agree with it at that moment, I still know they carry value. So my job is to find out what value that they have that can connect with mine, that can help take me higher, right? I don't have to necessarily like everything about the person or individual. I just have to know what part of them is made to fit in the part of me, right? Because whether we realize it or not, we're all connected. There's only one body in the earth, and that's just people. We're one. We're just an extension of the Creator that sent us here. We're just an extension of the Creator that sent us here, and we've been sent here to get things done, to populate, to build up, to nurture these grounds, to evolve, to take the life that we're in and the seasons that we are and make them better. Help people become better people, right? Help people make better decisions. Help people become up to a place where they're satisfied in life, right? So you have to understand that the new perfection is really being yourself. The new perception of perfection is being you. So the more that you work on you, the more perfect that the more perfection you begin to reveal to others around you. Always work on you. Always be open to the new you. Always present the real you. When you walk in a room, when you're in an interview, if you're doing business, doing any kind of transactions, when you're outside of your home, as well as when you're in your home, be you. Just be you. And if you get rejected, just know that what it is that you carry doesn't fit there. But there's another place for you. And in that other place for you, people are looking for you. But they can't find you if you're not being yourself. And therefore, you're making things take longer than what they really should then to evolve for yourself. So listen, thank you so much for tuning in on today. We'll probably talk more about this subject another time as we evolve and just kind of take a little higher. I just wanted to tap in and kind of pull the mask off and kind of help you guys see that you carry value. You carry a treasure in you. And the more that you're yourself, the more that treasure is revealed, and the more people are going to be attracted to you and what you carry, because you are somebody's missing piece. All right? Talk to you again. This is Coach Mark. See you real soon.